All right, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
I want to start first and foremost by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto
Yahawah,
Yahawah,
BAHASHAM,
BAHASHAM, Yahawashi,
BAHASHAM, QADASH.
BARAKNAWA. That honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who feed and nourish us through the spirit and power of Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi. Salutation, shalom, and blessings to all you sincere Akim pushing this word, truthfulness, sincerity. I'm here with the brother
Hi, Zaria.
of Great Millstone, Nebraska, and RAWCHAA of Great Millstone, Northwest. Just coming back with another lesson.
Yeah, well, this brother, I was blessed through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi for this brother to come down and help me, with my house, which just watching him, work. This is kind of going back even a couple days, but, we took a trip down and visited some more brothers, and it came up again in the spirit. And, hence the lesson and the title of it, setting thine house in order, because we in these last days, Salakia, as the elder Mawatazak said, we in the last seconds of these last days. I just, because that's where we at with it, and we got to make sure we stand in order. We make sure we standing on our toes even more than we were before, being more sober and vigilant, knowing, more circumspect, knowing that our adversary, he walketh about seeking whomever he may devour. All right. And just watching this brother work on the crib and like just seeing the from my perspective, the passion of doing something the right way. Because as he was doing some of the work for me around the crib, he was like, oh, this wrong, Robert, they do it this way, that way. And it's just seeing it done and wanting it done the right way, and like we kind of came up through something, came up to a conclusion through the spirit as we was talking about controlled chaos. This is what the Lord deals with. He deals with controlled chaos, meaning you'll go through certain things and that'll help you level up.
Yeah.
Or certain things that'll expose weak areas, because that's what happened. When the bathroom had a situation, it exposed the weak area downstairs. Even though we thought it'd be all right, but the Lord like, nah, get this all right, get this correct.
He made us get it right. Long story short, we had to do some extra work. Than what was planned.
Other than what was planned, and that's how the spirit goes. The spirit is like the wind. The spirit is like the wind, and you got to constantly set your house in order, and you got to do it the right way, which is according to the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. Not how you want to do it or what's comfortable for you or most fitting for you, but how he wants it done. Remember, this is his program.
Yeah, and at times it may, like you were saying, at times it may seem like it's too much, it's chaotic.
God.
Like shit's just happen on top of shit that's happened on top of shit. It's like, damn. It's just compounded so much, but then the Lord shows you the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's like, okay, everything's in control. It's just you needed to go through this. You need to humble down and be patient through this process. And I'm gonna show you how to get through.
Con. If we can get that Ezra, BABAQASHA.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra 14. I'm gonna start at verse 10, reading through 17. It says, "For the world has lost its youth, and the times beginning to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and 10 parts of it are gone already, and half a 10th part." It says, "And there remaineth and there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part."
So as he was telling Ezra, at that time, going back there was only 1.5 part left. How much more coming back? What we so-called, 2025, this is like 2,800 years later, So just how much more, where you think we at? We in the last seconds of the last days. That's where we at. So he's saying, pay attention to this part. Boom, it's divided in 12 parts, 10 and a half already gone, and this is how much is left. All right, go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. It says, verse 12, it says, "And there remaineth that which is after the half and the 10th part." It says, "Now, therefore, set thine house in order, reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption."
So knowing that this much time is left, now set thine house in order, right? Reprove thy people. And because the brother, matter of fact, we can actually bring that precept out about the beam and the moat you were speaking about. I think
That's
it's Matthew 7.
Yep.
Because, like I said, first you got to set your house in order. Then you reprove thy people. How you going to tell them to do something and correct themselves, and you're not correcting yourselves? And that's where a lot of Israelites have problems within this truth, is because they get the knowledge, and the knowledge puffeth them up, man. And they think that certain things don't apply to them. That's how the wicked scribes and the Pharisees thought, man. That's how they thought. All right, you read Matthew's the 23rd chapter, and what he said? He said, "Do as they say, but not as they do." All right, go ahead.
This is Matthew 7. I'm gonna start at 1. It says, "Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again."
Yep. Meaning not be a hypocrite. If you're telling somebody not to do something, then you can't be doing that very same thing you're telling them not to do. Okay, judge that you be not judged. And that's why we supposed to be keeping the law, statutes, commandments to our best ability. We know we're not perfect, and that don't mean you get to write down everything that's easy for you to keep, and then you could just tell people, no, you just set thine house in order. Try to walk accordingly to the will of BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Okay?
Yep. And a lot of dudes will put a burden on you that they can't even bear. You know, having you going, jumping through hoops, doing this and that. And that themselves is total niggas, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. But they got you being all pious and holy. You know? It's like, yeah, that's why, nah, man, if you're not doing it yourself, how you telling the next man to do it? Okay? Reading on, verse 3, it says, "And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?"
Yeah, because it's very easy to see what somebody else is doing wrong. But it's so hard for you to look in that mirror and be like, you ain't shit. You messing up. You ain't perfect. Get your shit together. Which is set thine house in order. All right, that's the other part. But the Lord teaches us how to do that. Okay? And that's once you acknowledge that, all right, that is the start of that change. That's the start of killing that old man.
They tell you in AA, you gotta first admit that you have a problem, and then you can start to recover. You know, it's like just like you first you gotta admit that you're a sinner. That you ain't shit. That we are worms. You know, and then that fear, that dread will turn into reverence and love for the Heavenly Father. Because what is love, man? That's when you keep the commandments, man.
Brother.
You know? So keep going. Verse 4, it says, "Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye?"
Trying to help others, and you can't even help yourself, man. That's why the scriptures tell us to scrutinize ourselves. They tell us to examine thyself, whether thy be in the faith.
Examine thyself, man. That's setting your house in order, man.
Yeah, because look, what the first time I called, I said, boom, check this out. This is doing this. I'm examining the problem. What's going on?
As soon as you told me, I said, bro, we gotta do something about that, like immediately, bro, because you gonna fuck around, your tub gonna be in your living room type shit.
And that was feared. All I heard a lot of dollar signs being spent with the tub being in that living room.
Yeah, bro, that shit would have been some technical shit.
But that's a beautiful thing. That's truth. You kept it 100. You kept it real. You wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything. Like, hey, you might want to get that figured out right now before the worst can happen. Right? But if you just like, oh man, it might be all right. That's the same if a brother coming up to you, or you going up to a brother and you're like, hey, I've been noticing you been doing this, or boom boom, or boom boom. You know, try doing it this way, and that can help you level up. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. All right? The truth might hurt. It's supposed to, but after a while, it won't. It'll yield peaceable fruit, just like the chastisement of the Lord, man. Okay? And that's what it does. Instead of him just like, oh, you know, it might be all right. Because the floor, the ceiling part, because we was like, well, you know, he was like, I don't know. And then me, I'm like, I think it'll be all right, you know. And the Lord was like, "Hey, I'll show you a thing or two."
That shit ain't all right. Yeah. Crumbled that motherfucker. Is what the Lord did.
And even though coming home to a situation like that, but remember at that point we had already understood what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was just the meaning of when it was going to happen, and the Lord made it happen that night.
Yep.
We was brainstorming like, yeah, it's going to fall, but when?
Yep.
And that shit fell a couple hours from after that.
Yeah.
It was out of there.
Yep. You could have already had went back home, and as soon as you went home, hey, I just touched down. Boom, 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 boom.
Everything fucks.
Hey, bro, you got to come back.
Now the Lord, he works in mysterious ways, but you know, it's everything's a learning lesson.
Yeah,
you know?
kind.
If you're always tapped in the spirit, you know, you're looking through a spiritual lens, you can take an example and an experience from everything you do. Yep. You know, like the brother, like he was saying, man, just you know, how just, you know, I'm here working and stuff, and he's gathering, you know, just setting your house in order, man.
Yeah,
kinda. You know.
Yeah, these words that's in this book ain't just like, oh, I read today, I'm good. Like, no, we supposed to live these, breathe these, you know what I'm saying? Become them, you know, because eventually, what do you think going to happen when we get the new covenant and they're a part of us? It's going to be this times 144,000, man.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
Because we ain't going to even think of going off, man. Everything just going to be righteous, just like that, man. You know? So that's why through the spirit, everything correlates, you know, to the scriptures with us. We go see a movie, we watch a show, certain things happen to people. All of it is spiritual. We have that understanding, you know?
That's right. I'm going to finish this. Verse 5, it says, "Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye."
Examine yourself, fix yourself, set thine house in order, and then you can help others. Okay? That ain't no different than somebody telling you how to do something they ain't never did.
Yeah.
All right. Like the brother was speaking earlier about putting burdens on people that they can't bear, that you can't bear yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the ways of Esau, man. That they'll send a motherfucker to college, and he'll learn the book technology or technical terms and shit of doing something, but he never actually did the shit a day in his life. And a man that has 20 years experience on the field, that nigga that went to college for 4 years is above this dude just because he went to college. And he's on the and he's in the field telling this man with 20 years experience not to do something that he's been doing and know efficiently how it works.
Yep.
And then okay, I'll do it your way, do it the boys' way, and everything fails.
Everything fails, bro.
And whose fault is it then? Now the fault goes on a nigga with 20 years experience because he knew better. But the boy who's above him told him to do it.
Yep.
How the fuck does that work?
Then you get rid of the man with 20 years of experience and bring in somebody else.
And then that cycle continues. And it's even worse now because the boy you bring in ain't got no.
Now the company fails and the company falls. You know?
Yeah, man. But that's the way of this fucking world, man. Yeah. Same thing with the military, man. You have a motherfucker that's been in the military, like he's a frontline soldier, but somebody who went to college. He come in there, he's only been in the military a year, and he's got a way higher rank. This nigga got to salute him and shit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. That shit's ass backwards, bro.
And that's why the Lord is not the author of confusion. You know?
You want that Sirach? Or you want?
A little bit more to this.
You can which one?
Finish off the second Ezra's real quick.
Oh, back to... Okay.
You can just start back at 13.
13? All right. This is second Ezra 14 and 13. It says, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption."
And who's in trouble? The nation of Israel. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the only ones that have no partake in the world. If you don't believe me, you can read 2nd Ezra, the 3rd chapter. He said, if the world be created for us, then why we don't have an inheritance with the heathen? You know? Because why? We're under these curses. This is our punishment right now. All right? So what did it say? Such of them as be in trouble? You know, we constantly on the bottom, constantly getting the short end of the stick, man. All right? But now Now, YAHAWASHI has put his spirit on us, and now the world see us because they see him. You know, they're like, oh, okay, maybe they are. Now, of course, you're gonna have your little scoffers. We need those too. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the beautiful part about it is this is not our thing, so you can't stop it. We can't stop it. We can't stop.
It's out of our hands.
Through the Spirit, Lord willing, we don't stop. Yeah, it's out of our hands.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all gotta bear it, and we gotta endure it. That's just the way it goes, man.
Yeah, like Elder Wamba always say, sad but fair.
You said it.
Something but true. Hey, that's it's a cold little saying, but it's real shit though. You know, yep. I'm gonna get it down. When I get it down, I'm gonna spit it to you again now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
All right, reading on verse 14. It says, "Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature."
Yeah, because I was even thinking about this the other day, how these people in this society just constantly have never-ending hope is what I like to look at it as. Meaning they'll get a good job and still hope that they can make enough money. Hope that their children can do. Hope. It's just constant hope. We just have a hope that we receive salvation or that the Lord even just come back. You know, because even after all that, we just know judgment is going to come. That's what we hope for. All right, that YAHAWASHI redeems his elect and just get this new world started. New Jerusalem coming down, man. All right, because shoot, like it going up a verse, we the ones that's in trouble. Okay, we the ones that stepped on. We the ones that's kicked on. All right. We the ones like gotta take the short end. Like you said earlier, man. If we really had bread, we do this and do that to the house.
We'll show the world how to really live, man. If Jake had money like these heathens got money, you know, which we're gonna get that in the kingdom. Yeah. And that's why we can't have it now.
That's why we can't have it now.
But there's certain niggas who got it now, hopping in something crazy. And they go to the garage and shit, you know what I'm talking about? But it's okay. Have yours now, because we don't want ours now. Yeah. Because what they say is greater later. Yep. Ain't that the saying? You know? Yeah, we want that greatness that YAHAWASHI is going to bestow upon us. Not something that we bought and made for ourselves.
Yep, that delayed gratification, man. Not instant gratification. Hey, you know, you smoked some meat before I've smoked. It's nice when it's slow and low. Yeah. Real tender and juicy, it turns out. You know, that's going to be our reward through the Spirit, man. Versus just throwing a fucking Hot Pocket in the microwave. Yeah, it might be good to you, but that ain't shit.
Verse 15, it says, "And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times."
Yep. Set aside, because now can you grab that Sirach, BABAQASHA 38 and 18? Because your mind can really take a toll on you, man. All right? Your mind can get to a breaking point. Okay? But the Spirit is what really keeps us going and keeps us driving, man. All right? And in that hope, you know? Because we actually hope, we have hope in something. And then the Lord is constantly allowing these prophecies to come to pass or doing beautiful spiritual things for us, to the point where we'll have problems and it's like, hey, call all y'all about YAHAWASHI. We're glory in tribulation, man.
Yeah, because those tribulations is a badge of honor, knowing that the Lord, he only chastens who he loves, man. Yep. When you keep the these things in perspective, you're gonna funnel that energy properly, man. You know, you take that ass kicking and it motivates you to do better, man. That's it. You take an ass whooping and you know the Lord's still dealing with you, and you're like, all right, I need to do better. That's all. You know. This is Sirach 38 and 18. It says, "For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength."
Yeah, I just wanted to grab that real quick because the scriptures speak about what? Them wearing out the saints. All right, and even like you brothers nowadays, you know, even though we get together and we have our moments, man, beautiful moments. All right, through the Spirit, we get a taste of the kingdom of what's gonna come. That ease of mind, but then what? You gotta go right back to reality.
Hell, it's back to hell.
Back to hell.
Yeah.
You know. So, but that's why we gotta remain strong. Like I said, you get away from that heaviness because it can break your strength. You know, heaviness of the heart can break your strength to where you, oh man, I can't do this. No, man, shit, yes you can. You know, and at the end of the day, whoever is meant to make it is going to make it anyway. But you know, this, hey, for me, call all y'all about Shemar Shai, but ain't nothing else, man. Ain't nowhere else I can go. Ain't nowhere else where I feel, you know, reliable, you
Yeah.
know, worthy, you know, merciful,
Feel complete, man.
complete, you know.
Yeah. You feel like you're part of something that's special, man. That's
There we go.
real.
Yeah.
You know, not like no fucking football team where you can get traded, or basketball team where you can get injured, or some old weak ass shit of this world, man. This is something that's been orchestrated before the beginning of time, man. You know, it's just like it's just was destined.
Yeah, like you said, predestined.
Yeah.
Before the foundation of the earth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, man, this brother been here, the things that's happened over the weekend, the things we've been through in our lives, and the things that's gonna come in the rest of this life, man.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is already written.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Verse 16, it says, "For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein."
And that's why we in this time where you see a bunch of transformers walking around, you see women out of order, children out of order, you see men hella effeminate. All right, you see Esau poisoning the food, poisoning the water, poisoning the air, poisoning himself, poisoning everything. Everything. He just got the death touch, man. All right, no matter everything he touches, he just destroys because evils have increased. Okay,
big ass Sid, man.
Yeah.
That's all you, the big ass Sid, man.
Splicing everything.
Yeah, just fucking everything up, bro. You got that etymology on house?
Con, I got you.
Alright.
Yep. So this is the etymology for house. I'm gonna just grab a few words out of here.
Which one you want, to the noun or the verb?
The noun. It says dwelling, shelter, building designed to be used as a residence, you know, which we get a precept in a little bit. This is just temporary body. We're just using this right now, you know, because our bodies is a house, man. All right. Like that's why I say that we got this roughly paraphrasing this truth and this power into earthen vessels, man.
Yep. The bodig.
Yeah, kind. It says in Gothic only in temple, literally God house. The usual word for house. Then it goes to meaning of a family, including ancestors and descendants, especially if noble. So these are the type of things, not only yourself, but also your family. All right? Not only your family, but, you know, as I said, like your ancestors, that's remembering our forefathers. Okay? How did they deal with things? How did they handle problems? That's why we read the scriptures. Okay? It says the things that were written aforetime was written for our learning, man. Okay? So I didn't use so many scriptures in so many situations because the wisdom, it helped me get out of them. You know, a situation that could have went all the way left, and just by trusting in the Spirit, I was like, let me become cool with this dude, so he can calm his dude down, so it don't get chaotic over here. And that's exactly what happened, and it was just through the Spirit. But if I would have just been, you know, the old me or whatever, looking for trouble, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But why make a bad situation worse when you can use wisdom to get out of that situation, man?
I tell you, in the Apocrypha, a hasty contention comes from what's it? What is it? Hasty contention. It's basically like you can either blow the flame or you can spit on it, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, and you chose to spit on it rather than blow on it, you know? So, yeah.
I like that preset.
I forget.
Oh, I got you. So, Sirach 28 and 11. I'll let you read it.
He said Sirach 28 and 11.
Well, I'll read it for you because
Yeah,
you know
go ahead.
this is in hasty contention kindleth a fire, and in hasty.
No, start up one.
Okay, kind. Verse 10 it says, "As the matter of the fire is, so it burneth, and as a man's strength is, so is his wrath, and according to his riches his anger riseth, and the stronger they are which contend, the more they will be inflamed."
That's his world, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, niggas, man. Hey, their strength and anger, it all combines in one, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nigga think he's buff, and then he think he's the baddest, and want to run up on you and doing all this extra shit, man. And then niggas got money, so they got that pride, and then it's just all, and then it's all the way through it's gone.
Yep.
It's gone.
All the way through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
In hasty contention kindleth the fire.
Yeah.
And in hasty fighting sheddeth blood.
Yeah, motherfuckers is hasty to have contention. Oh, you stepped on my shoes. Oh, you looked at my girl. You did this and you did that. Half the time niggas be so drunk they can't even see shit.
Yeah.
They might be looking at your bitch. They can't even see this bitch. Like, they're just looking because they're drunk.
Yeah.
And then you over here, are you looking at my girl?
Just staring off into space or
Yeah,
something.
it's like, come on, man. It's just hasty for contention, man. And I be the nigga women especially, man.
Yeah, well, you
hasty for contention,
when
man.
we was up in
at the little fucking spot. Yeah, that shit, bro. Man, I wish I could have called Apostle Ricardo to come down and get on her.
Man.
It was a big back.
Ooh, doing too much, man.
Too much. Like, it was embarrassing, man.
It was embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing to just to see this shit. I'm like, fuck, man. But we keep going though.
It says, "If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of thy mouth."
Exactly, man. What does a fire need, man? It needs fuel. It needs oxygen, and it needs a spark. So if you're blowing on a fire, you're giving it oxygen. The more oxygen you give a fire, the brighter it burns. Okay, so you blowing the fire is gonna make the fire burn hotter. Okay, but if you spit on the fire, it's gonna quench it, and both of these come from your damn mouth. So shut the fuck up.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Because what some people say, oh, I can't help it. No, you can.
You can help it, man.
And that goes into the lesson. That's part of setting our house in order, examining ourselves. You know. Sometimes I'm a little too hasty to speak. Sometimes and now you learn to control all of that, you know. Matter of fact, can we get that 1 Corinthians 9 real quick?
Yep.
Because that goes right hand in hand with that. Because you can't just do what you want in this truth, man. All right? It doesn't work like that. You work for a company, you don't get to just go in that motherfucker when you want to. But you can. There's consequences with it.
So I'm gonna start up on this.
Okay.
Start at 24. This is 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. You know, and with when you're dealing with athletes, you know, they have to be disciplined, man.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be very disciplined to even, be in condition for that sport. So they watch what they're eating. You know, they watch what their their sleeping patterns and all that. So pretty much it's like them setting. That's pretty much their house is set in order for that task for them to do that, man.
It said Derrick Henry spent, I think it was about it was thousands. You know, I want to say about 200,000 on him. You know, making sure his body's straight on his training.
You know who spends the most on that shit?
Who?
LeBron.
I was about to say, yep.
He spends about $1 million. He spends about a 1 point something million every year, and I think who's behind him was Russell Wilson. They both spend about $1 million on their recovery and their body outside of football and shit.
Dang.
That's why they got so much longevity.
Yeah.
Niggas wasn't paying about, trying to invest in their knees and all these different cryo baths and all this shit like that. You know?
We breaking down by the second.
By the second, bro. Can't afford none of that shit, man. You know, because those cryo baths was damn good for you.
Yeah.
Ice baths are good for you, bro. The chemical reaction in your body is is fucking phenomenal when you take ice baths. I don't know the actual terminologies and all that.
Yeah.
This is not medical information, so seek your own physician, okay? This is fair speech. You know, but it's like when you take an ice bath or
A cold shower.
it helps your muscles regenerate.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It is good for the blood.
Yep.
It helps your organs repair themselves.
Energy.
You know what I'm saying? Because all the blood goes to your organs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, I don't know all the rest of that shit.
I got
but you know.
Yeah. it's beneficial for your body.
Very beneficial.
For your house.
You know? But reading on. It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things, meaning self-controlled. All right? Self-control, that is very important. You know when to say something, when not to say something, when to do something, when not. You're following the spirit. At the end of the day, you're in tune, man. Okay?
That's it. It says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Yeah, that's these niggas, man. They want a crown that can be seen by the world, man. Okay?
Yeah.
And that crown that just be seen by the world, it's gonna burn up with you.
It's temporal.
It's temporal, bro. It's like you're not taking that. If you make it on a chair, you're not taking nothing with you, man. Not even this body.
One of the brothers said over the weekend, I don't even want to take my socks.
Straight like that.
Man.
Oh, man, that was profound right there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All this shit gonna disintegrate, man.
Yeah, why would you want to take anything? All of it's just corrupted at the end of the day.
And that's part of you setting your house in order, man.
Yeah.
Not being fucking enthralled by anything that's in this fucking world, man.
Yeah.
Fuck what this world got to offer, man. Just know that everything that this world's giving you is gonna burn up, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna burn up. So fuck all this shit, man. And when you finally come to the realization that this world has shit to offer you, that's when you're really gonna realize you need salvation, man.
Yep.
If you are Israelite, that is. Reading on verse 26, it says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
That's going right back into what you were speaking about the Matthew 7, you know. You see in the beam, you ain't cast out them. You have to examine yourself. You have to get your house in order before you correct someone else's house.
Yeah.
All right? That's just what it comes down to. Or you're going to possibly be what? Become a castaway.
Yeah, reprobate, man.
Meaning going into Sirach 19, you know, there's some who is profitable unto many, but unprofitable to himself, you know, roughly paraphrasing. Meaning you might be giving them scriptures, giving them things, or giving them ways, and you're not keeping them yourselves, and you're not profitable to yourself, and you become a castaway. Start slipping and sliding. All right?
Yeah. And I've seen many of those dudes come and fall away, man.
Yep.
You know? So that Corinthians 3.
John.
This is 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy, for the temple of Yahawah is holy, which temple ye are.
Which temple ye are. And it does not say that, you know, it calls us a body. All right, we are. I'm gonna grab it because I don't want to butcher it. I know it's 2 Peter's.
Yeah, man. We are. This body is a dwelling place for our spirit, man, and our spirit and our bodies belong to the Heavenly Father, man.
Yeah, kind.
You know,
it's rented.
Yeah,
you know, we're renting these bodies at the end of the day. All right, because that's why the Lord deals with the inner man. He deals with the spirit that's inside this vessel right here. Because we've had different incarnations, all right, been reincarnated, but it's still the spirit that the Lord is looking at and looking forward to being corrected. Okay, the outer shell is just what it is. It's just to get you through to the, you know, to the next ride, so to speak.
Yeah, that's it.
But it says, 1 Peter 2 and 5, it says, ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahawashi Mashiach. So us being lively stones, because we have the Spirit of the Lord within us, we're building up a spiritual house. That's why this world can't see that third temple being built. You know, because it's a spiritual house, man.
Yeah, they think it's gonna be another physical temple.
Yeah,
man.
damn. You know, J
got the
double
red
O's.
heifer and all that
exactly,
shit. It's like,
bro.
these niggas, man.
Just
fuck.
Go
man.
sit down and wait
Shut
till we wear the
up.
crown.
Yeah, just shut the hell up, man. For real.
And that's the point where we're getting at, is so much is happening and so much is coming out because we at the end. All right, here
Lord,
it is.
at the time.
The apostles was speaking about the MOTB and the micro C hip almost, well, at least 2 decades ago. And here it is in the past couple years. That's all of these companies is talking about.
All the time, the wave of every fucking tech company is all going digital, fucking MOTB style.
Yep.
All of it.
And it's almost like a race to do it, to get it done.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And then on top of that, got all the tension brewing up between all the nations. And people who wasn't allies becoming allies. And people who are allies becoming enemies. Because at the end of the day, all they that bend the bow shoot upon Babylon.
And on top of that, if Satan rise up against Satan, how can he stand? He therefore have an end, man.
Yep.
So he got all these different nations against themselves, man. So they can't. None of them was gonna be able to stand.
The Lord is moving chess pieces.
But you know who's not against themselves? The men of the Lord.
Yep. That's them. And they can't, because that's where the Spirit is. You know, where the Spirit dwells.
That's right.
You know, the ones that actually want the kingdom to come, the ones that actually want Babylon to be destroyed, the ones that actually is waiting for the return of Yahawashi by the way in the command of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, because He's the only one that know when it. But I know the Lord can't wait.
Patiently waiting to make His enemies His footstool, man.
Man.
Patiently waiting. Well, we don't gotta get the other one.
Con. I mean, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Well, that's what it is, you know, through the Spirit of Yahawashi, Lord willing, you was edified, and Lord willing, we allowed to endure unto the end, you know. Like I said, through the Spirit, just by seeing this brother do the work around the crib, you gotta really have things solid, you know, solidified, grounded, found in a good foundation, you know. You can't just go around things because they're in the way. Sometimes you gotta actually go according to that and shape with it, mold with it, in a sense, you know what I'm saying, so it can be done properly. All right, and that's how this walk is. That's how this journey is towards salvation. Some days you're gonna have good days, some days you're gonna have bad days. All right, and guess what? You deserve both.
Yeah.
You know, you deserve both. Take what the Lord give you, man. Okay, because He already gave you this truth. He gave you His name. He gave you your heritage back.
Gave you life.
He give you life, you know, more than enough for you to, you know, get your mind right and keep your mind right, man.
That's right.
All right, and Lord willing, we allowed to do that until the end of this. So, hey, with that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom, and once again, double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone.
Shalom.